terms of the response generated from you. The phones, the email and the fax machine went mad on Friday after my interview with Professor Helen Irlen. She's the inventor of the Irlen, IRLEN method, a way of helping people with learning disabilities via what are described as coloured, non-optical lenses. Now, Professor Irlen, you may remember, is one of the world's leading authorities on learning disabilities. The results of her work, as you pointed out in your calls to me, have been nothing short of astonishing. But as Helen Irlen pointed out, the only ones getting the help are the ones who know or have been told about her method. And as she said to me on Friday, I think that's wrong. She says this should be available for everybody. In the 20 or so years since she developed the Irlen method, tens of thousands of people around the world have been helped. But that's really only a drop in the ocean when you consider the figures. Professor Irlen said it's assumed that between 12 and 14% of people suffer from learning difficulties. She believes the real figure to be higher than that. In Australia, we could be talking about as many as 1.5 million people who are functionally illiterate. 1.5 million. Now, Helen Irlen doesn't say that her method can help everyone, but she believes it can help about 60% of people. So if we've got 1.5 million people who are functionally illiterate, we're talking about the possibility of helping 900,000 of them. Many of these people, as we discussed on Friday, have been labelled as dyslexic or having ADHD. Yet Helen Irlen is offering them a drug-free, non-invasive response and a possible answer to their problems. She's been saying this for 20 years, and it must stick in her craw that no one really seems to want to listen. Or is there an industry out there that really thrives on people who are functionally illiterate, in particular perhaps the drug industry? I thought that the least we could do would be to talk to her again. The response, as I said, was extraordinary. And Helen Irlen is on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Alan.
Thanks for your time again. A hell of a response here. I can't recall the last time we had a reaction like that to anything. You'll be pleased to know that many people who rang are using your method.
That's wonderful to hear. But again, we have to focus on all those that either don't have access to it or don't know about it.
You said on Friday that there's often anger that, adults are mad and furious, I think were your words, that they'd been misdiagnosed. They'd been told that they were suffering from dyslexia and ADHD when that isn't the case.
And led to believe that there was nothing that could be done to help them. And what's staggering is statistics realizing that when children are struggling in school, by year 6, they already know that they're going to drop out of school. That you have 83% of the prison population has reading problems.
So, and you said on Friday that many of these students described those problems to you, and then, I really couldn't believe what you were saying, and then callers rang and said, I'm one of those people. I had the page in front of me, the letters seemed to move around, the print was all blurred, and they became ghosted, and they wore your non-optical glasses. So those people are real people, aren't they?
Oh, they are real, and they're saying to you that it's changed their lives and the lives of their own children because the problem's hereditary. You know what's interesting to me is that we have now created a classroom environment that is the most stressful for the population I work with. I'm talking about environmentally. Fluorescent lights are a problem. Whiteboards are a problem. Putting black print on white paper is a problem. We are making it difficult for children to learn.
And these are people, you say, with a sensitivity in their visual system to certain frequencies within the white light spectrum.
Right, and that's why it works, because it's the brain that has to read and process information. And if certain of those wavelengths of light or colors are stressing the brain, that's going to disrupt the system and prevent the brain from functioning normally. And what I'm saying, too, is environmental factors, especially when you put black print on white paper, whether it's numbers, musical notes, words to read, and then you ask the kids to do it or adults to do it under bright lights and fluorescent lights, the brain can't process the information.
And you observe that some students read with greater ease when they covered a page of print with a coloured overlay.
Yes, they read better, it's more fluent, they have better comprehension. In addition, some of them feel better. They're not getting headaches anymore from reading or getting tired or sleepy. getting restless or fidgety.
I have to say the people who rang me on Friday verified all of this. I was inundated, I have to tell you, with responses. Now, different colours too, you said, for different people.
Different colours for different people.
And then how did the coloured overlays evolve into the lenses? Because we now have these non-optical glasses.
Well, the colored overlays are, I think, a critical aspect because it's an easy one for the educational system to implement, and I will say it time and time again. I want to get this into the educational system. I want to get to the kids who wouldn't be able to get help any other way. They can use the overlays. It's an inexpensive method for the school districts to be implementing. What happened is that the adults who we were doing our research with said, hey, Helen, you know, the words moving, the words going in and out of focus, ghosting, disappearing, it doesn't happen just when we're reading. It happens if we're looking at information that's on a whiteboard or an overhead or a computer screen.
That's it, so you need the glasses.
Yeah, and depth perception was
Yeah, men rang me. I mean, a 45-year-old man rang me and said he puts the glasses on every day.
Every day, wears them all the time.
Yeah, non-optical glasses. So
right.
Every day you're saying there must be people who could be helped, but who aren't getting that help and are being diagnosed with something completely different from their problem.
Right. Absolutely. And being, you know, and the parents, a lot of times the parents have a feeling when they're told even that their child is just maturational, the problem's going to go away, or the child needs to work harder, because they know themselves that they went through the same situation and the problem does not
go away. And so we say, oh, it's a learning difficulty without trying to identify the difficulty or how it can be overcome. Now, you have a website, don't you? www.irlen.com.
Right.
And on that, they can do a free self-test to see if perhaps they're suffering from this unique light sensitivity.
Right.
And then there's that number, 97471122. We were run over, our boards were on fire on Friday, giving that number out. So, Helen, you've made a big contribution to many lives.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
That's Professor Helen Earlin. We were swamped by people on Friday. So the website is www.irlen.com. Now, if you're unsure whether this is you or your daughter or your son, or they might be misdiagnosed, there is a number, which is the Earlin Centre here in Sydney, IRLEN, 97471122. The website, www.irlen.com. The number in Sydney, 97471122.
You're listening to Alan Jones on 873.